Virgo, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we'll look at your energy for the next week via the tarot, astrology, and any channel messages that come through. So let's get into it. Virgo. Happy day. Happy February. We just moved into February. Very nice. We're in the midst of Aquarius season. We've had a new moon in Aquarius, and a couple planets went direct since we last talked, both Jupiter and Uranus. Mars is still in retrograde, but with Jupiter and Uranus, we're kind of getting a little bit more of a boost of confidence is what I like to call it. Even though things might not be exactly how we want it, how we envision it, there's this hope, this confirmation that's coming through around the places that we've been plugging away at, really putting in time, energy, effort in order to kind of manifest how we want things to look in our own life. What do I want to say about that? Oops. Let me pull up my astrology for today. So there is going to be some mounting tension, but overall, we're having a little bit more balance. We're having a little bit more stability around the things that are changing. We're starting to get more comfortable with what is happening, how things are unfolding, and also I'm hearing like a readjustment of expectations, right? There's like the fantasy versus like what is actually playing out in real time. And it's important right now to have necessary expectations for people, for situations, because it's going to give us better clarity, guidance, and direction on how to move forward. That's why I really like starting off the readings with an energy cleansing. Sets the tone for the reading. It also cleanses out some of that limitation we might be coming into. It's a good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come into this reading, Virgo, with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would love Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give those questions over. Be open to receive messages. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, what's specifically happening with you, or if you are looking more for a rebalancing of your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic consultations. So that value of when we are in alignment, then we're going to be making choices and drawing situations, opportunities that are in alignment with those things as well, which is, the goal, right? The goal of life. So all that info is in the description box below. If you resonate, vibe with my energy, definitely reach out. I would love to connect, help, and support in whatever way possible. All right, Virgo, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so that we may see and understand the messages clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, let's get into it, Virgo. So like I said, there's been a lot of support and it feels good. You feel grounded, like your energy feels a little bit more balanced. Like I said, even if things are not exactly how you want them to be in this very moment, it feels like there is a level of acceptance coming from you. And when we have that acceptance, it kind of diffuses some of the tension, the restriction that we might be walking into. And when things become, I love this, such great confirmation with the Hangman. When things become less tense, we're able to see that stuff clearly, right? Like when things are just tightened, wound up, etc., we tend to look at things through the emotional lens, through the anger, the frustration, the pain, all the different stuff that's going on. And I feel like you've really had to shift your perspective. I feel like you've had to look past that stuff is what I'm seeing. You have had to look past some of that stuff and really dig deep, because you're coming from a place where there has been a shakeup with this Tower here. There has been a shakeup, and you're watching an ending of a cycle, of a phase of your life. There's some grief. I mean, there's a lot of feelings. It's not just grief. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here by any means. I think that it's really shifted your perspective on life, whatever you're coming from, whatever that Tower moment was for you. It's making you see things in a different way, and in a way where maybe you have to be a little bit more, subservient to something or someone. Or this could also just be like, you kind of have to have better boundaries with a person, with a situation. You have to be a little bit more rigid with how something's playing out, because it's continually putting you in this position where you're being put down. I feel like your potential, your power isn't able to come forth because of some of this chaos that has been happening in the background. Whether this is something that just happened, came out of left field, or this is like a cycle where you're constantly coming into chaos, things that are throwing you off course, things that make you start over again, come from a blank slate. Let me see who this Emperor is to you before we get into the, okay. Knight of Swords, Four of Pentacles pops out. Someone with the need to self-protect or protecting their plans. Who is this Emperor to Virgo? Eight of Swords. Someone who's limiting themselves. Someone who's limiting themselves. They feel a lot of pressure. They feel a lot of pressure to make a decision one way or another. Yeah. About the relationship, and they're not necessarily, okay. What is this? Okay. Is this from Virgo? Sorry, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. It looks like decisions. Well, decisions are coming up. It's not happening quite yet. Maybe you've kind of been holding back on making an important decision, and maybe it does involve someone else, someone who you're heavily relying on, who does kind of have a fixture in your life. Either it's a partnership, whatever, whether that's romantic, business, a friend, etc. This feels like someone that you have to take into account. And I feel like, I don't know, something's happening where someone is really stressed out about, well, it's the Emperor. Okay, someone is really stressed out about something that's out of their control, or maybe not even relevant to some capacity. They feel like they have to make a choice because They feel like their happiness is on the line, and it is happiness that is pertaining to you. Or maybe something that you want, maybe a decision that you want them to make. There's that Knight of Swords coming up again. Oh, there's something that like is, I don't know. It feels like this is something that's like happening underneath the surface. Like either there's an argument, a debate about how something's playing out, and maybe things came out in the past that brought a little clarity to this. That was that kind of shell shock for you. It does look like things have changed though. Like whatever this conversation or whatever happened to kind of throw you off, it's changed. Like it looks like you're getting what you want, Virgo, but at the same time, you're dealing with someone who just feels very uncertain about themselves. They're very powerful. They have a lot of drive, a lot of inspiration. I feel like there is a connection between you two that is important to them enough that they want to maintain this thing, but they're stressing themselves out over something or someone, okay? This ability to kind of shape up is what I'm hearing, or to look at someone, something from a different perspective. And maybe this is even you. Maybe some like hiccup happened where they did something, said something that like didn't vibe with you at all. And now they're really stressed about that because they don't want it to come across in a certain way. Like I said, there is a lot of abundance here, but there is also something here that's really changed your mind or changed your perspective on something. And like I was saying in the very beginning, as much as maybe you don't like it, there's a level of peace that you found around it. Okay, there's the Chariot for you. Maybe someone else is like slowing you down. Someone else is slowing you down and you're feeling a little bit of this dead weight. You're trying to remain diplomatic about everything, trying to remain diplomatic about what your opinion is. It's hard though, because as much as we have the Chariot coming up for you here, meaning that you can step into your power, it's being blocked for you in this situation all across the board. And again, this feels very much like it's coming from someone else's anxiety, their own stuff that they have to deal with, their own stuff that they have to make peace with within their soul, so they can find ways to transition into a little more happiness, harmony, and peace. And this is saying that it's there for them, right? It's available to them, but for some reason, something keeps happening over and over and over again that's kind of tripping them up. And maybe, let's see what this is. Maybe you just don't like it. Maybe it's fear. It's fear that it's going to go back to how it was before. Two of Cups. It's fear that someone might step out on you, you know, is what I'm seeing. Like, I feel like you want things to move in a very methodical way. And that makes a lot of sense, Virgo, because you are a very methodical sign. You like things to be balanced. You know, you are all about health, wellness, kind of like moving through things in a steady and focused and rational way. And you are coming up as the King and Queen of Swords, but I don't know whether there's like not a lot of trust between you two right now, whether something just keeps getting in the way that puts the relationship back a little bit more. You're wanting them to be more proactive, and they are trying with all intents and purposes, but it does look like something else is kind of like holding them down, tying them back. And it could, you know, be just as simple as another distraction, something that's, you know, making it easier for them to like not look at what's going on for them, right? Why they're in this Eight of Swords energy. Eight of Swords is when we're like refusing to see it ourselves for what it is. We're working ourselves up into so much anxiety, fear, etc., that we end up limiting ourselves, you know? And that's where this Emperor feels a little bit unsteady. But again, Virgo, I feel like this is very much someone who has to work things out within themselves. They have to find their own peace. Maybe on some level you know that. Maybe the hardest part for you right now is just surrendering the idea of control and like just allowing them to do what they need to do. I'm sorry, I know that's not easy for anyone, right? Like we all have this illusion that we can control situations, and it doesn't even have to be from like a negative, like you're trying to control someone. It's not about that. It's about like, you know, we have this idea that we can control how things play out if we do X, Y, and Z, and sometimes it just doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. And that's part of like playing karmas out with people, other souls, etc. Love's will, moonflower. So sometimes things are just, you know, as we move through life, passions come up, desires, things that we want to see manifest, things that are meant to come to head, right? They are fated, just like that dahlia. And again, nothing that I'm saying makes any of that easier. Nothing that I'm saying makes any of that easier. But at the same time, there's more that needs to be uncovered around, well, whether or not this involves you, because to me it feels like it doesn't. It feels like you're a part of it, but it doesn't specifically, it's not about you. It's not directly related to you. It's directly related to what this person, individual, has to make peace within themselves around. And there are influences that cater to both sides of that, right? So Ayurveda has this principle of like balance. If someone's going too far one way, then wrangling them in to balance out, you know, their energy through a variety of modalities, whether that's what they're eating or their activities that they're doing, etc., their wellness, because that's going to give them a stronger foundation, everyone a stronger foundation, to know how to handle some of these changes that are happening. Like I said, you feel good right now, but I do think there is more that's unfolding around this situation, more that is going to come to head, that is going to help hopefully shed some light on why it's been happening in the way that it has, and have a better idea of how to move it forward, right? Transfer grief, right? Sometimes we just move through the pain, move through the process, and just understand it is what it is, right? As Debbie Downer-ish as that is, I'm so sorry, Virgo, but I really do hope that you found messages that resonated for you here. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always, especially if you've made it this far in the reading. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I'd love to hear. Just connect, share, and a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support you bring my way. Now I'm sending it back to you.